Now, the deadline to file your tax returns has come and gone. Time was up at midnight on Wednesday. Now, anyone who missed that deadline will face a stiff penalty. And how many people actually did file, and how does this year compare to last? SARS Acting Commissioner Mark Kingon joining us this morning to tell us if we were actually good. Mark, good morning.
Good morning.
Firstly, did you file yours? Did you get yours in?
I have filed my return. In fact, I had to pay in, and I have paid already, even though I didn't have to yet.
And you paid already?
I've paid already.
Okay, well, that's very good. So let's talk about the rest of us. We're we good little taxpayers?
Yes, we've been very gratified with the response, and as the figures indicate, which we released yesterday, 2%, over 2% up on year. And you must remember, we have reduced the filing season period. We used to go to the second last Friday in the month of November. We've pulled that forward to the 31st of October, and we're very gratified. But what's more important is we've seen a 2% increase year on year for the use of e-filing, and which has obviously got benefits for all. Yes, there were pressures on our branches. And just out of interest, we had people filing up till 11 o'clock at Richards Bay on the night of the 31st. Our staff were serving them, and we've been very gratified to see the turnout of people, but our staff in response has been wonderful.
Okay, so you say an improvement. Just remind us, what was your target for this?
Well, you know, obviously, when we talk of targets insofar as tax returns, you always look at the previous year. There are things you don't know. There's always people who are not going to be filing. And remember, we've got till the end of January for provisional taxpayers. So that also comes into the equation. There is a gap still. In terms of how many people still need to file, but that will be provisional taxpayers or people who are just delinquent. If you have a look at...
Must they come with a doctor's note?
Well, no, not necessarily, but we've got 1.4 million returns filed for previous years. Now, some of the people are filing who don't need to file. And obviously there's some people who are just ignoring us in totality. And those are the people who we want to get with in terms of penalties, but ultimately we want to serve better.
Okay, so those who honestly, I mean, look, there are some people who might not have known, some who just started working maybe, you know, that they just aren't aware. What sort of leeway is there any?
No, and
for those who have good reasons or were sick or out of the
we always hold to the thing that do it as quickly as possible. If you haven't been able to file yet, the doors are open. Our branches are taking people. We are not running on weekends at the moment. We've stopped that. Our staff also need a rest. They've been working extremely long hours. So we are operating with normal operating hours, normal branch times. People must come forward. We don't have to be feared as such. We will always help where we can help. But there are people who go and ignore us year on year. Those are the people repeat offenders. We want
so let's talk about those
with.
penalties now. What are the penalties?
Well, once you have 2 or more returns outstanding, the penalties kick in terms of what's in the legislation. And for a normal salaried person, they're around 250 Rand per month that the return remains outstanding. And for the really wealthy, which I don't think you and I fit into,
definitely not,
to 16,000 Rand a month. And that runs for a period of 37 months. And thereafter, we would generally go after specifically those who are the serious wealth, where we haven't got the taxes. We would prosecute and go through various processes.
So there could be jail time.
There could be. It's a criminal offence to not comply with legislation. But we don't want to get there. We want to rather serve people. And that's why we urge, for the betterment of our country, people need to do the right thing.
Okay, and for those who are lucky enough to be getting some money back, Mark, and I know we have to remind people every year, just be aware of the scams out there. People take advantage of this time of year when people are expecting tax returns, being asked for all kinds of banking details and all of that. Just a warning to those.
Yeah, I think very importantly, we've refunded just under 18 billion Rand to personal income tax users this filing season. And yes, it is a time of scams, and scams happen in various ways. The one scam that we do have is that people promise refunds. They so-called tax practitioners. They ask for your e-filing login details. Don't give it. A tax practitioner's got their own login details. A tax practitioner does not require to have your own login details. I think that for me is the very important thing. If a person's promising you a refund which seems unbelievable, it probably is unbelievable. And double check. People start claiming fictitious amounts, and in so doing are opening themselves to be prosecuted. And we want to urge people, if in doubt, check. And remember, there's registered practitioners. They're registered with our controlling bodies, and there's checks and balances. And also, very importantly, we will not ask for your PIN number. We won't ask for bank details on an email.
Because you'd have those already, right?
We would ask you to update, yes, but we wouldn't ask for the actual details to be given.
Okay, all right. So you've been warned, so you cannot fall victim to this. Now, Mark, I can't not ask you about latest developments regarding the Revenue Service. And I suppose let's start with how you feel about the axing of Tom Moyane this morning. I mean, it happened yesterday. How are you feeling this morning?
Well, I think firstly, we've obviously noted it. We got the notification just like other people got the notification in terms of the press release by the President yesterday afternoon late. We've noted it. It's his prerogative. We recognise that because the Commissioner serves, he's appointed by the President, and we will look to him as to how we go forward in this. Obviously, there's sadness. Let's, to be in this position, it does give us sadness as an organisation. But we are moving forward. We are committed to ensure we become a proud organisation that delivers on terms of its mandate.
Well, that's that was my next question: is do you feel that this is the end of a period of, for want of a better word, rot at the Revenue Service, that you can go back to being sort of, very much an example of good administration that SARS once was? Do you feel that this is the beginning of that?
We've already started dealing with a lot of things. So we're reinstituting the large business service offering end to end. We're reintroducing on the enforcement side the illicit economy unit, but we're also looking to reinforce service to our clients. And you're going to see next filing season, we've got some wonderful things up our sleeve that we believe are going to fundamentally shift the landscape of taxpayers' involvement with us. And we are committed to do those things. The team is able and the team is willing now to move forward.
I mean, is there much of a mess to fix? And do you blame Tom Moyane for much of that mess?
I'm very careful to blame people individually, and I wouldn't do that. There are things to fix. The fact that we have seen compliance slip, we've got many clients ignoring us, that we've seen the Ombudsman release reports recently. He's doing a systemic investigation into our timelines on disputes. Those are concerns to us because we shouldn't be in that position. So there are things to fix, yes.
How's morale at the Revenue Service after all of this? It's been a bit of a long battle.
You know what's amazing to me? Yes, our staff morale has been down. We do surveys of our staff. But what has been so encouraging to me as I've walked around with our branches, you go to and there's staff serving 10 at 9 in the evening, yet they're still welcoming and they're engaging with the people with a smile. So yes, while there's a lot of people who've been hurt through the process, staff morale, I think, is on the up, and we're looking forward to the future.
Now, during your testimony at the Nugent Commission, you were a tad emotional. You apologised for leadership problems at SARS. Are there others that actually need to be dealt with after Tom Moyane?
Well, there's any area of incompetence has to be dealt with, and any areas where we failed has to be looked at. There are things that concern me, and
are there people that concern you?
There may be. I think to go down that road here would be incorrect, but there are things that concern me, and specific aspects pertaining to how we did certain things need to be addressed, and we will address them. I want and I'm acting, and that's my role currently. But while I am there and I've got the authority, I want us to act with credibility, with good governance, that nobody can point fingers. I always say, if I take the decision behind closed doors, if it leaks to the media, I want us to be able to be proud of it and be able to defend it. Now,
the position is up for grabs. Obviously, I don't know. Is it a position you actually want to be SARS
I would put my hat in the ring, but obviously it's the prerogative of the President, and I'm here to serve. I've been there for a number of years at the organisation, and we serve, if required, in whatever role we have to do. And that's my attitude. One way or the other, that's irrelevant as to who gets the ultimate role. As long as we're taking the organisation forward, I'm going to be serving.
Okay, so if not Commissioner, you're happy to stay on in any other position?
I will serve.
Okay, all right. Thanks very much, Mark, for that and for the updates. And let's just hope that I'm getting some money back. Thank you very much. SARS Acting Commissioner Mark Kingon just joining us to talk about just how successful the tax return season has been and the latest troubles at SARS.